as the communist to leave the area you're in, and staying in the area gives you CVP. Like it gives you 14 CVP per turn. So so unless the Chinese with maybe like one LM, actually I don't even think they get LMGs. I think it's two guns and that's it. So
Do they
you're
get like extra dare death squads or anything?
no, I think I forget. I'd have to double check, but I have a feeling like they don't even get dare death.
Oh, I mean,
So
the only thing I could think of would be like just literal wave assaults into hand to hand in the village.
yeah, so my troops, I had 25 squads against 15. Um, I have one good leader and three mediocre ones, two artillery pieces, and my guys were nationalists. Exception: dare death is not applicable. So I could human wave theoretically, but it was going. I had a lot of conscripts, which meant that like movement is garbage, and there's a lot of hills with forest. So if you try to go up one, it's four. So even if you were doing impulses and human waves, you could only move two hexes, and I was rolling terrible for morale. It was literally just like these guys are broken, these guys are broken. You're trying to shoot with like three firepower on a +3 shot. It's not doing anything.
Wow, that's insanely frustrating.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, I highly once that video comes out on YouTube, it'll be highly recommended in terms of like this is how you don't design a scenario. um, Not that I want to like shit on the designer all that much, but for what is a
Really,
relatively
there's being historical and then there's fun.
there's so it's kind of like even if it's supposed to be historical, like if your historical is I need to make a game where or a scenario where the outcome is already decided, then yes, that scenario is amazing because I do not know how the nationalist Chinese won. We were
Is
puzzled
it?
by it.
Does it feel like there's like one weird rule or trick that you missed or you didn't realize that would have kind of flipped it?
I think the only way to do it honestly is like you have to have everybody in one giant line, or maybe not like specifically the line, but like a real big clump, and then you just human wave the first turn. Because I honestly don't understand how you're supposed to do it otherwise. Because the other thing that makes it bad, in my opinion, anyways, is that not only do the Reds, the communists, set up first, but they shoot first, like they move first. So you even if let's say you as the red player you set up, but you set up poorly, right? Or you set up and you don't realize like how the map looks or whatever, and you end up with a situation where um, you just have like a terrible gap in your defensive setup. The nationalist Chinese player should be able to take advantage of that because they logically would go first. But because the red Chinese player goes first and has like all the advantages in terms of like height and how everything looks, you could basically just rearrange your entire defensive setup as soon as you see the nationalist Chinese and be like, "Yep, anything you tried to do, I now have 8 squads covering it or whatever." It's
Wow.
it's egregious. It was it was really bad. So we did that in one night. I was just like, I can't play this. And then the next one we played, um, I did rather well the first half, and then the second half my dice just left me, and I made a couple bad moves. So at least
Well,
like at least Armored Samurai was good, but First Soviet lost. That was yeah, that one was a trip.
well, I'm glad you had a good time, and I'm glad you got a couple games in.
Good time. I was pretty frustrated on FD 180.
Well, I guess there you go. Just for scheduling purposes, just to kind of get it out of the way. Um, Obviously, I should be good for the rest of the month, with the exception of Christmas Eve, obviously.
Oh yeah,
Oh
yeah.
yeah. And then I'm going to be off the following week, so we'll have
Oh
to
yeah,
work
that's
that
no
out.
problem.
And
At
then
worst, I'll just get some day games or whatever going. I don't see it being
yeah,
an issue.
we're going out of town and all that fun stuff. So yeah.
Nice.
But yeah. So this week, next week, and the following Tuesday, that's the 21st, I should be on. So that's the next 5 goes.
Okay.
Then off for about a week and a half there.
Cool. Yeah, I figured. Oh, also, I guess to let you know as well, I figured we would continue with the Long March, and we'll go through that. And any other scenarios, I'll just play with. I think it's Super Emma is his Discord name, or somebody else, doesn't matter.
Yeah, sure, no. And honestly, whichever scenarios you want to play with him is, or them is fine with me. No worries.
Yeah, I just think it'd be because I kind of want to do the Long March as a campaign, and obviously, like if I made the thread vote and whatever, it makes more sense if we keep that as a running thing.
Sure, yep, that works.
Um, all right. The other thing I need to try and remember. Uh, so I have myself as. All right, you move first. So I think you're set up as Axis. ELR. All right, that's all done. Um, So just to go over the situation, KMT must earn more CVP than the Red Army, so it's a CVP race. Uh, I don't know why this other thing is in here. It seems very strange. KMT earns one VP, only applicable once, if any KMT unit is south of 35 A5 P5. So 35 A5 P5. So if any unit is below that line, I get an extra CVP, but or VP, but I sure. Casualty victory points are earned normally. EC is moderate. No wind. No kindling is allowed, which sucks because man, all this grain that would be amazing for fires. Uh, I can't get their death, and you can't invoke no quarter or massacre.
And good order medium machine guns are worth 2 CBP.
Yeah. Broken Red Army crew possessing a 4PP sport weapon. Okay, so you can still dismantle even if you're broken, um, which is important because good order MMG is non-broken, if I remember correctly. So if you wanna deny like an extra 2 CVP, even if your guy's broken, you can still just break the MMGs. Because I don't think I can repair since it's technically a different nationality. Um, Also, the Red Army guys on turn 1 don't get concealment and won't conceal at end of turn. I'm very scared about this scenario, but we'll see how that goes.
I'm honestly not. I have a feeling you're going to wipe me because I am not really sure how I'm supposed to play this. So we'll see.
I don't know. Everybody's hip, and I'm running through open ground. I don't know. It'll be
It's
interesting.
not that open, really. Yes, I mean there's a lot of grain fields, but they're full, so it's not flat, you know. And those hedges on
Yeah.
the left side kind of cut into the line of sight a little bit.
Well, depends on where your reinforcements go, I guess. I'm just having flashbacks for Soviet loss. That's my problem.
I mean, what reinforcements? Which aside from the hip units, and there aren't that many of them. Let me tell you,
Well, the turn 1 guys. That's the technically their reinforcements.
they're the bait. They're suckering you down here into the like worst ambush ever. All right. Anything else?
No, we got our
Passable.
snipers down. Pretty sure that's all there is to it.
Alrighty. No weather change.
And we don't have to feel bad about who wins or who loses because this one doesn't count for the campaign, technically.
That's correct, because it's way too early. It's like, what, 4 years prior to the rest of them?
Something like that, yeah.
Okay. There's no rally actions on my side. I'm pretty sure you don't have any either.
Nope. Well, can't.
Yes. Prep fire, none. And I don't think we have anything administrative wise we need to do with prep fire.
No, not unless you had like mortars and you wanted to like area fire somewhere, but you don't, so.
No. So, movement. This is all normal movement.
Yeah, I mean, you could do whatever. Doesn't,
That's one for an extra for the road. So it's
1,
6
2,
plus
3,
1 for the group. Yep.
yeah, if you continue on the road, you get the +1. I forget if I think it's just +1.
Because if I believe that I started off map on a road, so
Yeah,
so that's 3, 4, 5,
so you get
6.
6. So you can technically go to either Y5 or AA5 if you so choose.
Yes, they will hoof it along to Y5 there.
Cool.
So that's 1. 3.5, I believe.
4.5 because the hedge is an extra 1.
Is it? It's 1.5 for the grain, right?
Oh right, sorry. No, yeah, I had added an extra 1 for some reason.
Yeah, it's 1 for CC 10 there, then 2.5 to get into CC 9 for a total of 3.5.
Yeah.
And that's 5.
Okay. Well, no defensive, no routes.
No advance fire. No advance phase.
Hmm.
No close combat. Over to you.
All right. No weather change. Time to set up my boys. How do I want to do this? think that's good. All right. Prep fire, no prep fire. Movement phase. Let's see these bastards run through and die. Normal move 1.5 into S10. If it's 6 or more hindrance, then they're out of line of sight. So
Yeah, you're fine.
okay, 3,
Okay.
1, 3.
Okay.
Let's do this. One guy will go bypass in
Okay.
T10.
All right.
So that's 1. Goes into T9 for 2.5.
All right.
4 into T8.
I think you're technically within 5 of X5.
Draw it. Because 1, 2, 3, 4.
Yeah, that's 5 hexes.
Any change?
I mean, I'm crossing. You've only got 5 hexes intermediate.
Oh yeah. I just meant, is you doing anything
Oh
with
no, no,
them?
yeah, you're fine. Sorry.
Okay. Um,
Do you have something special with your eyes? Why are they labeled? Just out of curiosity.
I think it's because I forgot that I don't have Dare Death. That or it's to fake you out. I don't know. There's something.
Okay, yeah, no worries. I didn't know if there was an SSR that I missed or something.
At this point, I think it's more faking me out than anything else. I was looking at it at the start, like I don't remember what I did. um, Gonna have a unit go bypass in U10 for 1,
Okay.
then goes into U9 for 3 or 2.5.
Okay, I'm pretty sure you lose concealment there. Okay.
This guy will do similar, so bypass U10, then go into T9.
Okay.
One unit off board, bypass in V10 for 1, 2.
Okay.
Pretty sure I'll lose it here. 3.5.
Okay.
Other unit is going to do mostly the same, but CX at the start. So 1, 2, 3.5,
Okay.
5.
Should that conscript be CX'd?
Conscript.
Yeah, in U9.
No, because he bypassed U10 for 1, and then into U9 for 2.5.
Okay.
Is U8 good?
Yeah, go ahead, sorry.
Okay. This guy is going to go 1, bypass, into grain S10 for 2.5, into R9 for 4.
Okay. Take silence is okay. I'll pop up
Yeah.
if.
Okay. Um, Uh, I'm gonna do, because I'm pretty sure this is legal. I'm gonna do a split CX, so not everybody's gonna CX. Uh, two of the two of the units in here will CX. They'll come in on R10 for one, 2.5, 4. They will then split up from their non-CX counterpart for 5.5, 7.
Interesting.
More questionable stuff. One guy over here, uh, on board for one into GG10.
Okay.
Uh, GG9 once the map wants to be nice. GG9 for 2.
Okay.
GG8 for 3.
All right.
The next unit will CX GG10 for 1, GG9 for 2, GG8 for 3, GG7 for 5,
Okay.
and then GG6 for 6.
All right.
The other guys on the left.
Hold on a second. I have to completely reveal a unit to unconceal, right?
Yes, if you're doing anything, the only unit that would ever potentially retain concealment is guns, and only if they're emplaced or hip. I forget if one's necessary for the other.
Okay.
So no action.
No.
Okay. So other stack CXs. Yeah, because I think the only if you mean like if they should be revealed if I come into LOS of them, I think there's something about if they're in open ground and in LOS that you'd have to check specifically. Um, like I forget if it applies for vehicles and guns and nothing else, or how specifically it works. If that's what's at play, anyways.
Well, I
Um,
guess my question is like I have a bunch of hip units, obviously. So if I
yep.
unhip a unit, like, am I concealed at that point? Because I'm not really taking an action. I'm just LOSing.
If you're LOSing, then you'd have to reveal where it is and would drop hip, if I remember correctly. I think
Yeah.
that's
So
like
my question is, would that unit then be concealed?
uh, it would retain concealment, yes, because you're not. It's not like you're doing something to drop concealment, but it would, in my opinion, it should reveal where they are, because otherwise it wouldn't make sense.
Okay. Oh yeah, you're fine. Keep going. Sorry about that.
No worries. Because it's kind of like saying like, okay, well, I have to scan you from, we'll say EE2, but it's like, okay, well, I know you have a unit in EE2 that, like, you have to prove that something is real for
Yep. No, I understand.
to do that. So FF10 for one, GG10 for two, GG9 for three, GG8 for four, and then GG7 for six.
All right.
Um, Over here, it'll be W10 for two, W9 for four. Pretty sure they'd have to reveal anyways. So there you go. Get that one for free.
Oh, right there.
And that's it for moves. Defensive fire.
Sure, why not? X5 will shoot at our pal in W9.
Okay.
Ooh. 3 up 5. Nothing.
Do you not have Oh, you know what? Maybe that reset my preferences. It's not telling me verbose. No, I should have it on.
No, for whatever reason, map 35 is not doing line of sight.
Oh, I'm curious as to know if that might be the part of the map bug
It's
stuff.
not.
It's
It's
not?
because map 35 is version 6.2. So if you look way back up at the start, you get Vassal lost, LOS disabled, because it couldn't
Huh.
insert port 35 into the Vassal map for whatever reason.
So it's just because nobody's done the work yet.
Yeah, apparently. I mean, I don't know what's necessary to go from 6.2 to 6.4, but there it is.
Probably just a lot of time.
Yeah, I mean, who knows? Yeah, so it was actually across. It touched 4 of the
Yeah, I think
targets, and
if I
then
remember correctly, I think there's and I actually want to look at this now because one, it's super in effect here, um, where I think you can't get more hindrance than there would be TEM across, like hindrances across it. If I remember correctly, it's like you can if it takes you if it takes you 3 hexes to get to it, then you can't get 4 because it's like it penalizes too much. I think there's something about it. Um, Modified presence of hindrance.
the number of hexes in which an LOS hindrance applies will not exceed the range. I don't know.
For yeah, whenever a LOS crosses or goes along a shared hex side, 2 hexes that have the same range to the fire, however, only the LOS hindrance of the hex with the highest applicable LOS hindrance is counted. Therefore, the number of hexes which LOS hindrance. Okay, so I guess technically because it's range 4, but if it was I'm trying to. Anyways, if it was 2 hexes away, you can't get 3 hexes of hindrance. Is the point, I guess.
Yeah, so that's a +4, so it's still a heinous miss. But yes. So
Okay.
yeah, that would mean because I'm at 4x range, so I couldn't get the +5. It would cap at +4.
Uh, well, the last one was TM from Woods,
Oh, that's
so
right.
it's
Yeah,
yeah,
so
so it'd still be +5. But anyways, yeah. Okay.
and that's it.
All right. Advancing fire. Do I want to advancing fire? Technically, I could shoot at an open any hex and try to find somebody, but that seems cheesy.
That would be what area fire. So you'd be
Yeah,
halved
halved and then halved again because it's advancing fire.
because we all have crappy rifles.
Once you get close and there's no defensive terrain, you don't have to worry about that too
Doesn't really
much.
matter so much. Yeah, no, I get it.
I know this from experience. No routes, advance phase. Um, Leader and MMG will go into X8. I think most everybody will do V8 to W8, U8 to U7, U9 to U8, T8 to T7, T9 to T8, S9 to S8, R8 to R7, R9 to R8, R6 to. Do I want to? Yeah. One guy will go to S6, and one will go to R5. Over here, GG6 will go to GG5. this and clone this. 1 unit in GG7 goes to FF6, the other to GG6, and GG8 goes to GG7. No CC. Over to you. Ooh. Potential wind. Single die, if you get a 5 or a 6, it changes. Otherwise, no effect. Ah, oh, damn.
Sorry about
that. He changed no wind 2 hexes counterclockwise.
I don't think there's any route actions for either side, or rally actions for either side.
I do not have anybody I want to deploy. Nope.
Prep fire.
Yeah, prep fire.
We'll unhip the stack and prep fire at FF6.
Okay.
So that's going to be 6.
Up 1.
Yeah. And leader directive.
7 on 6. I think it's a normal.
Probably, yes. No project.
And breaks.
PLR is turning.
Yep.
Sorry, I was looking something up there.
No worries.
Assault move.
Okay.
Normal move.
Ooh, I'm shooting. I'm blasting. X8 to X4. It's a +3 for the hindrance. It's not assault movement, so just +2. Yep. But I have rate of fire. So you're free to go. Oh, also, I get to use the counter I never used. Infantry, fire. Hiya.
normal movement. 1.5.
Okay.
3.
Mm-hmm.
Assault movement.
Hmm. Okay.
And normal movement.
Mm-hmm.
That's it.
Okay.
Defensive fire.
All right. MMG will shoot at AA7. It's going to be a 4 up 1. 8 on 4. Pretty sure it's a miss. Yep. No rate. That gets fun fired. Hmm. Yeah, you know what? Both CX squads are going to reveal themselves. And they're shooting at FF6 or EE6, sorry, as a 6 up 2. Damn. And that's it for shots. Fast fire phase.
AA7 will return fire on them, so that's going to be a 3 up 1.
Mm-hmm.
So they cower. So probably nothing.
Do Red Chinese cower? I feel like I asked this before. Also immune to cowering.
Oh, well, nice.
So
So
7 on
that's a
3
7 on
conditional.
3, which is a conditional.
The crew pins.
That's it for advanced fire.
Routes. There's only one. This guy routes to GG7.
Advanced phase. All right. No close combat. Over to you.
All right. Nothing in weather. Rally. I'm going to try a self rally. That's garbage. The end comes off. Pin comes off as well. I don't have any other rally actions. We'll shoot AA7 again with the MMG. That is a 6 on 4, normal morale. Pin, whatever. No rate, unfortunately. Wow. Did my mic pick up my stomach there? I think I died. Move in phase. I'll keep the CXs until I actually move. GG5, 6 comes off. We'll bypass FF4, GG4. Specifically well, I guess I don't have to specify. Continues to GG3 for 2.
Okay.
And into FF2 for 4.
All right.
Other guy will do GG5. It goes bypass. 3 into FF3. And 4 into EE3.
Okay.
Concealed unit in GG7 moves to GG6 for 1.
Mm-hmm.
2. and then 4 into GG4. Concealed unit in T8 moves to T7 for 1.5. T6 for 3.
Pretty sure you lose concealment there.
Okay. Gonna have another unit. One in S8 goes to S7 for 1.5. That continues to S6 for.
You're losing concealment there.
I'm sorry, what?
You're gonna lose concealment.
Oh, yeah. So it ends up there for 3. Gonna have another unit do the same thing. Unit in the back in R8 is going to CX. They're going to go to R7 for 1.5. R6 for 3. Pretty sure.
Lose concealment.
Yep. Into R5 for 4.5.
Okay.
R4 for 6.
All right.
Other unit in the back, R7. Just take off that. R6 for 1.5. R5 for 3. S5 for 4.5. And S4 for 6.
Okay.
W8 is going to assault move to X7.
Okay.
Conscript in U8 is going to move normal move to V7 for 1.5. Then continue to V6 for 3.
Okay.
Unit in T7 will CX. Goes to T6 for 1.5. T5 for 3. T4 for 4.5. T3 for 6.
Yeah, not worth it. Okay.
Unit in U7 loses CX. They'll go to U6 for 1.5. U5 for 3.
Okay. The unit in X3 will fire at him.
Okay.
You're directed. I think that's going to be a 3 up 2. No.
3 flat. Because it's +1 for hindrance and -1. Remaining units, that would be 1, but it's reduced by an extra 1 for hindrance, so it wouldn't leave residual, unfortunately. Unit S6 will lose its CX, and they're going to normal move. So 1.5 into S5, S4 for 3, and then R3 for 4.
Okay.
The remaining units in R5 is going to assault move to S5.
Okay.
And that's it. Defensive fire.
These units will unhip, and we will fire group on Squad E, that first line infantry, in X7.
I don't see which one unhipped. Oh, sorry. Okay.
So leader directed, so it's going to be 4.5 plus 6, so 10.5, up 1.
Oh, because you're doing both?
Yeah, I'm fire
Okay.
grouping them. Yep.
So, yeah, 10.5. Um, yes.
It's 2 hindrance for the grain, and then -1 for the leader.
It's +1 for grain
Oh,
because you
right,
don't.
right, because it's fire group. Never mind, never mind, never mind. Yeah, so +2.
No, no, it's +1 for grain. Leader doesn't get applies bonus because it's multi-hex.
Right, right. So that's going to be conditional,
Still condition.
barely.
Well, they're pinned. They're mega pinned. Yeah, that reminds me. There was a thing I learned over the past like week and a half that even if a leader directs a multi-hex fire group, so let's say you could cower, even if your leader directs it, these guys can still cower. So cowering
It's
still
only
applies.
that's the hex they're in.
Yeah, but it still takes it down the column. So it's kind of I thought that was interesting to learn. I guess to put it.
Y4 is going to fire at the conscripts in V6.
Okay, it's 3 + 3.
Yeah, it's
Is that,
+4 actually.
is that... No,
Plus
you
it's
never count the hex the hindrances in.
okay. It's still going to be a +3 then.
Yeah, 3 up 3 get snake eyes.
We're just basically making them feel. And these happy guys will unhip and they will fire at EE3.
Okay.
It's 1 hindrance.
Hmm.
So that's going to be
8 flat.
8 flat.
Yeah.
So 7 on 8.
Boy, howdy! I wish I could pass a morale check. That's gonna continue to haunt me.
Can I fire further?
Uh, I don't.
Like if I wanted to continue and fire, like I got rate, so if I wanted to fire at the guys in FF2, could I do so?
I don't think so. But first of all, I feel like. Well, so technically it wouldn't be first fire. It's auto final fire. Oh, you don't have to do a covered art because that's only if you're in woods or buildings. Um,
So in that case, I could turn and fire at somebody else. Like I could fire at X7, for example.
yeah, it doesn't have to be in within the same covered arc.
Yeah. So we will turn and fire at X7.
Okay.
So that's going to be 1, 2, 2, 2 hindrances.
Yeah. So +1. Hey, passed it! Hooray!
And DD6 is going to fire at the broken unit just for fun. I don't think I can actually see him, but we'll see. Oh ho! I can. Woot woot. Okay. brush.
Yeah. Well, he's in woods, but the hex in front is brush.
Yep, so it's up 2.
Mm-hmm.
So we will leader direct, so that's 3 up 2. And that is going to be nothing. But hey. Sorry, that's it. I'll review.
I'm sorry, what?
Over to you.
Oh. Advanced fire phase. I'll do a 1.5 up 1 to X3. Of course. NMC, and that's your sniper? Yeah,
Yep. All right, so that was a normal morale check or 1MC?
NMC. All right, I'll take a double break.
That's going to be interesting.
Please don't get a sniper. I'm praying for it, of course. Of course. Leader dies. No more shots. Route phase. EE3 has to route to FF2. Nobody else on my side needs to route.
I am. I'm pretty sure I have to route back toward here.
You can't. Hold on. That would be 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Okay. Well, I think you can route to Y3, but as you continue to go, you'll get in view of FF2. So your route destination might have to be J0. Actually, it has to be J0 because it's the closest in terms of movement factors. 1, 2, 3, 5, 1.5.
So it's going to be 1.5,
2.5, 4.5. Yeah.
2, or do I have to go through Y2?
No, you don't have to go through Y2. I don't have anybody even if I had somebody within range. You've got hindrance from here, CX guys. Nobody could interdict, so you're good.
All right, cool. I think that's it.
Cool. Advances. Take off prep. Take off defensive. MMG is going to move to W8. V6 to V5. U5 to U4. S4 to S3. R3 to R2. S4 or R4 to R3. S5 to S4. T6 to U6. S6 to T5. S6 to S5. And I think that's it. No CC. Route phase. Or your turn 3 rally. Dang.
Almost a weather change there.
It would have been Gust. It's no effect, unfortunately.
So let's see.
I actually kind of wish that was the case. If you rolled Gust with no wind, you just get a wind change.
That would be nice, yeah. Or you just get gusts. I mean, you know.
Well, you get Gust, but I think it'd be interesting to get Gust and wind change because otherwise,
Yeah,
it's so temporary.
That's true. Okay, my leader. I am commissars, aren't I?
Yeah, but a commissar that tries to rally doesn't get his own benefits.
Well, he fails anyway. And the only other self. I will use my self rally on the squad that he's with. If I can do that.
I'm not sure you can. There's something about self rallies, like one, it has to be first. So technically, I don't think you could
Well,
use
the
it on
leader
him.
is also a self rally technically, so
Yeah, but
I'm still in the self rally phase.
the self
So I
rally, the self rally is specifically mentioned as it must be the first one.
okay.
Yeah, that's the thing about it. But um, the only thing I'm trying to think of is any unit attempting self rally, i.e., attempting rally, must add +1. Self rally can never occur in a location containing a good order for the leader. Doesn't say you can't. So yeah, do it, but just keep in mind, like when you're doing self rallies.
Oh no, it's all right. We'll just lose the DM for now, and we'll move on.
Oh, okay.
It's okay. It's cool. I think that's it for mine.
I got none I can do, so DMs come off.
Prep fire.
Mm-hmm.
I will fire group AA7 and AA6 at X7.
Okay.
12 up 1.
Yeah.
So 9 on 12. Probably TC.
NMC.
Normal morale, fairly.
Breaks.
And Z4 and Y4 will fire group at the. Well, no, let me think about that for a second. Z4 will fire at the. Sorry. We'll start with somewhere else then. DD6 will fire at GG7.
Okay.
So 2, I believe. It's going to be an 8 on 3. Nothing. But he's DM'd.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, we will fire group actually. Y4 and Z4 will fire group at V5.
Okay.
It's going to be an up 2.
Mm-hmm.
With the leader.
No, just be up 1.
So the leader eliminates 1 for his stack. If I
No,
click.
it's just because it only goes through W5. If you're shooting at V5, your stack only shoots
No,
through.
it clips X5. Trace it again.
No, it has to clip the actual hindrance.
Oh, okay. All right.
Yeah.
Yeah, then up 1. So that's 8. 14.
Okay.
So 10 on 14 is a PTC.
Pass that. Wow.
This is an assault move.
Okay.
That's it.
All right. Uh, 2, 3, 4, 5. We'll do FF2 to there as a 3-up 1. Nothing. Um, sure. W8 will shoot at AA7. It's a +2 shot. So 8 on 4, nothing. I have rate of fire. Try again. Nothing. Final fired. Um, T3 is going to shoot at J1. Pretty sure that's a +3 shot. So 1.5 up 3. Nope. But they're DM'd. U4 will attempt to shoot at Y4. It's a straight shot. It's 1.5 flat. 4 and 1.5. No morale. I will take whatever that gets me. Nothing. Conscripts in V5 will shoot at same target as a 3-up 1. Nothing. And I think that's it. Vince Farface.
Sure. DD4. Yes, DD4 will fire back at FF2.
Mm-hmm.
So that's going to be 3-up 1.
Mm-hmm.
Nothing. But you're DM'd. I think that's it. Routes.
Group phase.
Can those guys route?
I believe technically, since they're under DM,
I would like to route them there. Through
that
I2, I1.
so that wouldn't be possible, and I just learned that like 2 weeks ago. So how it states it in the book is that you can't. It has to be closest, right? Nearest in movement factors. But the problem
So
is
yeah.
yeah, it doesn't count uh, adjacent woods as not applicable for ignorable terrain, which I thought was crazy. I lived with you have to like you could just ignore it because it's connected, but only works for buildings. My only route is X7, who's going to go into X8 and then continue to W9.
Okay. Advance phase.
Mm-hmm.
No CC. Over to you.
All right. Wind, no change. Rallies. I'm just gonna attempt W9. Nope, absolutely not.
All right. My officer down in J1.
Mm-hmm.
So, do officers get the DM penalty?
Yeah, if they're broken, they can't. Commissars don't get their bonus.
Okay. Then he fails. All done.
Yeah, sorry, I was just checking to make sure that was correct. Um, all right, prep fire. Hmm. No, I don't think I've got much prep fire to do. No, movement phase. Squadron FF2 moves to GG2 for 1.
Okay.
Oops. GG1 for 2.
Okay.
A1 for 3.
All right.
A2 for 4.
Sounds good.
Squadron R2 goes to R1 for 1.
Mm-hmm.
S1 for 2.
Okay.
Bypass the woods in N0, T0,
Okay.
and then into M1 for 4.
Okay.
I need... the conscripts in T5 go to T4 normal move for 1.5.
All right.
3 into T3.
Okay.
Conscripts in U6 go to U5 normal move for 1.5.
Okay.
Into T4 for 3.
Uh-huh.
Squadron T3 will lose their CX. They go to T2 for 1.
Okay.
U2 for 2.
All right.
They will end there. The conscripts in S5 will go to S4 for 1.5.
Mm-hmm.
2.5 to S3.
Okay.
The CX guy in R3 drops CX, goes to R2 for 1.
Mm-hmm.
S2 for 2.
Okay.
T1 for 3.
All right.
The guy in S3 assault moves to S2.
Mm-hmm.
Squad in U4 is going to declare CX. Goes to U3 for 1.
Mm-hmm.
U2 for 2.
Okay.
V1 for 3.
All right.
Bypass in V0, L0 for 4.
Okay.
Goes to L1 for 6.
Okay.
MMG in W8 goes to as a normal move to V7 for 1.5.
Sure. We'll take a pot shot at you with the medium machine guns.
Okay. One, two, three, four.
I think it's up 4.
So it's 4 -1 for leader and -1 for non-assault movement.
So 8 up 2.
Mm-hmm.
I will take that.
2MC. And of course.
Your sniper.
Oh, trust me, I'm gonna get a 6. I hate how I haven't gotten a sniper in 4 games now.
I believe in this. I don't think I can. I don't think raid applies. Is it this far or advanced far?
No, raid applies. Squadron V5 moves to U5 for 1.5.
Well, then we'll fire them with the machine guns again.
Okay.
That's a 4 again.
Yeah.
So another up 2.
Mm-hmm.
It's gonna be
Great. And that's it. Defensive fire.
DD4 is going to fire at GG4, so that's going to be 3 up 1.
Okay.
So that's a 5 on 3, which is a 1 MC. Or, I'm sorry, a normal mount check. Sorry.
Doesn't matter. It's not a fucking break. I wish I could get snipers and morale checks. That's all I fucking wish for.
You've been having problems with those in a bunch of recent games?
I've never had good morale checks. I swear I've never had good morale checks. It's never been consistent, never been good. Yeah, it's so annoying. It's just like the sniper. It's like I wish I could get a sniper and take out a leader or something, but I don't get that luxury.
AA6 is going to try and fire at W9.
Okay.
And it is blocked by the forest. So let me see if I trigger your sniper. I do not. All right, I'm done.
All right. No advancing fire. Route phase. These guys have to route. They'll go to V8, and then continue to W9 for 3.5, and then, oops, and then they will continue to W10. None of these guys have to move. This guy's nearest will definitely be south. Pretty sure. Pretty sure that's. Where's morale? Morale. Yeah, so my nearest. I actually don't have any. Like, the nearest one would have to be here. I can't get closer. I think I have to. What's the word? Low crawl.
Into U4 or into U3?
Um, T4. I can technically go to low crawl to T4, I believe.
Okay. Yeah.
Hold on here. Where is the damn passage in this? Where's most right away? Yeah, I think I'm pretty sure I can low crawl to T4. That's it. Advance phase. A2 goes to B2. L1 to L2. M1 to L0. And then there's going to be a bunch of dudes are going to bunch up. And that's it. CC, no CC. Turn 4, communists.
Ooh, almost.
Yeah, you've been straddling the line for weather changes. Pretty crazy.
Rallies. Let's see. I have the guys in J1. Lead a rally. Huzzah. The squad with him is going to be
Rallies.
rallies. Well, no.
Yes, you get a +1 for broke. Even if you're broken, you get a -1 for woods.
Yeah, but I only have a 6 morale.
Yeah, you get a -1 or +1 to your broken morale because it's a commissar,
+1.
and you get a -1 to the roll for woods.
All right, I think that's it for me. Yeah, it's broken. So.
I got that guy who can try to rally. Nope. DMs go off.
Prep fire. The squads in DD4 will split their fire. One squad will fire at GG4, and the other squad will fire at FF2. I believe it's going to be the same for each of them. It's going to be a 3 of 1.
Yep.
All right. So we'll start with GG4. So 6 on 3 is a pen test check.
Broken doesn't take it.
Yep, but they're damned. And the other one is a miss, but they're also damned. That's it for prep fire. Movement fade. Assault move.
Mm-hmm.
This is normal movement. 1.
Yep.
2, 3.
Mm-hmm.
4, 5. Also normal movement. 1.5.
Mm-hmm.
3.
Yep.
1.5.
Mm-hmm.
3.
Yep.
This is an assault move.
Okay.
Defensive fire.
None.
You have no advance fire. Routes.
These guys are dead, so it doesn't matter. And that's it.
Advance fade. These guys will back up.
And I can see there's no way. There's no way I can win this. That's fucking annoying. That is so annoying.
I feel like you were screwed by bad rolls.
Oh fuck! Look at my stats. My morale checks, 7 of them, and my average is 8.71. I can't roll under any of my morale checks. If I didn't lose the fucking MMG to a stupid shot, if I didn't lose the fucking conscripts to a stupid shot, if I didn't lose the fucking X7 guy to a stupid shot, this guy to a stupid fucking shot, this guy to a stupid fucking shot, like every single one of the attacks that you needed to be like a 3 or a 4, you got them.
Yeah,
And
no.
And the one time
Really well.
I get fucking close, and I'm like, no problem. There's no way that you're gonna get two morale checks in a row. Like I just have to fucking get close, and then those guys will be dead, and I can continue moving on. I wanted to do a fucking human wave. Everybody moves back, so I have no LOS on guys. I even if I do, the fucking hex grains are too much movement factors, so I can't get close, and I'm down fucking half of my attacking force, and you have nobody dead and nobody broken. I've it's This is as frustrating as first Soviet lost because it's there's no if the attacker has no advantage in morale and no advantage in support weapons, you're fucked. And I don't understand how like maybe I'm stupid and it's probably that, but I really don't understand how to attack at equal value. You have as many squads of comparable level than I do, except you don't cower and you don't fucking ELR. So how is it that I'm supposed to get to areas that you're at and not just break consistently if I'm only rolling eights? It's maddening how these scenarios are designed to like if you're the attacker, you should have a numerical advantage that's not just four shitty conscript squads. And even then, like the fact that you have two MMGs that are equal to three of my conscript squads, like what uh, how are you supposed to how do you get across open fucking road. Like the only thing I was thinking of doing once like everything started to reveal was like, well, fuck it. I'm just gonna be super stupid and rush to the bottom of the map because I can get one CVP, and then you have to come to me. But there's no option. There's literally no option.
Yeah, I mean I have to. I mean, I share your frustration. It's a very big puzzler, though. I will say it could have gone 50-50. If you had come down the other side. It would have been a pretty confused melee over there in
Oh yeah,
that left field. You know.
like well, no, I'd still think it would have been shit for the the nationalists because you can say it's a melee or whatever, but partisans get the ambush bonus and you're considered stealthy. My guys are not. Obviously, this is predicated on like who succeeds ambush rolls and a bunch of other stuff, but like you start with everybody hip, so no matter what, if I go all the same way, like there's no good route terrain. These guys are effectively screwed. You don't even have to shoot at them. In this turn, you could have taken those two guys in DD4 and gone one move, two move. It's 3 points, and then you just park yourself there. They,
Well, yeah. I mean, that's kind of what I realized. I don't know if you're. I was kind of like, okay, all I got to do is kind of pin these, three or four squads over here and kill them eventually. And if I keep pushing back and pulling back up into that top left corner, you got to come to me.
but
It's
But I'm saying like for those two squads, you don't even have to shoot them. You don't have to do anything to pin them. You can literally just walk up to them, right? Have one squad go to like EE2 and the other squad go to GG whatever. You've already got your guys up here. I would have to route because you'd be adjacent, and there's no hexes that I could cross without being open ground or remaining adjacent. There's no quarter, no massacre, so you can't like immediately. You either take prisoners, or they die for failure to route. There's no way around it, right?
yeah, yeah. No, I guess what I was trying to get across is that I realized that all I had to do was kind of eliminate those one way or the other, and that's a pretty big buffer. I mean, that's what
Yeah, and
six or eight
it
CVP, something like that. Yeah.
it heavily favors the defender to the point where you can't attack because you can't do human wave because all that the grain costs so much to get through. It's just it's it's it sucks shit when I get diced 3 games in a row and the fourth game was like first Soviet loss is still a sour taste in my mouth. So it's just like it's not your fault, obviously. Like, but it's stuff like I have a real frustration with the fact that I haven't gotten snipers, like ever. Like I can't remember the last time I got a sniper because I roll like consistently shit unless like I just spam the bot and then eventually I'll get something. But fucking five sixes up here, like what the fuck is this bullshit?
Yeah, I mean, I feel your frustration, man.
Yeah, and it sucks too because I don't want to be frustrated, and like it ruins the game aspect for the other player, like regardless of who it is. So it sucks all around. But at least the next scenario will have like more stuff, and it won't be like as soon as you lose three squads, you're kind of screwed.
So the next one is resisting the conscription or
Yeah,
constriction, right?
yeah.
And I think I need to put this one together.
Yeah, I forget. There's something there. I'm
Yeah.
so
So,
I'm so done with today.
oh hey, no, no. You know what? You know what you get next time? You get air support.
Yeah. Yeah, not a
So we
single
get to do air
frame red.
support for a turn. And huts. Let's see.
Yeah, huts are interesting because I think it's just hindrance. If it goes through, like you can shoot through huts technically. There's something about it if I remember correctly.
It's a one level plus one LOS hindrance, like an out of season orchard. But only, oh man, this is annoying. But only if it crosses more than one, at least one building depiction in the hex.
Oh
It's not
yeah, yeah,
collapsed.
yeah. Collapsed ones will definitely add to that as well.
Okay, so it's just a hindrance, not an obstacle. Okay,
Yeah.
so that's the major difference.
Still no quarter, no massacre. Something about the Chinese support weapons, so they have to be crude, I guess. I think that's the
Yeah,
Japanese
that's
thing.
what that. I think G11.611, G1.611 is they have to be crude.
KMT wins a game end by accumulating 20, more than 20 or 20 or more VP. Two for each controlled hut pillbox, one for each trench controlled, one for each
Position
non-controlled
trenches.
collapse hut with a blaze count. That's basically just saying like, yeah, you take your artillery pieces and just shoot at buildings all day. Just blaze them.
Yeah, I mean, um, yeah, there's going to be a lot of fire.
Yeah, hopefully. I know kindling is allowed as well, so that'll be interesting if that comes up.
You do have a slight man advantage.
Yeah, it's 30 to 22, which is, I mean, it's still 336s, so I'm worried, I'll admit. Having a 6 plus 1 leader and a 9 1 is kind of whatever.
I feel bad because I have a buttload of leaders. Like I have a leader for every 4 squads, more or less,
Yeah.
or 5 squads. Excuse me.
I mean, I'm hoping at least like artillery. I'm gonna pull this up because I want to take off this
Yeah, it's
log
a
file.
75, so that's a decent shot.
Yeah, but it's also like I'm entering right or set
Yeah,
up move north or whatever.
that's a
Um,
14 firepower shot. So yeah, that's going to do some damage.
yeah, I'm more worried about what the extra stuff is to it. Uh, is it movement 8? It can't be that one.
Yep.
It is the corrupt white. Oh, is that smoke? Do I get smoke? Small s. I always forget. Small s. Smoke. I get smoked. Sick.
Oh, nice.
That'll
Cool.
actually come in handy. And armor piercing for absolutely no reason.
Does that? No, I'm going to guess high explosives is better for the buildings.
Yeah, really, our AP is like I don't think there's even a pillbox thing about AP. I think it's only good against vehicles. The only thing that AP5 would be good for is if I wanted to cheese it and I was like, oh, I want to get a free covered arc change and declare like, oh, I'm gonna try for AP shot and not get it, and then just whatever.
Oh, hey, it's a mountain gun. Nice.
Because I think what's the there's an IFE equivalency table. I forget where it is, and it's like if you're shooting AP at a target, it's like two firepower. It's something silly. It's like there's literally unless you have what's the is it the 3 pounder? It's the British gun, the British AT gun they had. Um it was like
The
most
yeah.
mostly used in like the North Africa, and like it didn't have an HE shell. All it had was solid shot. So you'd end up with like that's the only one that comes to mind of like if you have to shoot an infantry, you might as well take the two firepower you get from that.
Well, what are you gonna do?
Well, we'll get there eventually, so we'll see what we
Sometimes it
do.
really like surprises the shit out of me that the British actually did anything because most of their weapons seem like, eh, they're shit.
It's I like to think of it as indicative of their like war stance uh, and having built up before the war. Like that's how you end up with so many infantry tanks and all that slow stuff, right?
Yeah, apparently it's the 2 pounder.
Oh, 2 pounder, yeah, that makes more sense. This roar data for this scenario: CCP partisans 10, Kuomintang 9. I don't believe it. I need to know.
What?
There's only okay. There's only two results for KMT that have an actual description. Um, and one guy's game is still in progress 7 years ago. Um, my bait force didn't run far enough from pursuing KMT and ended up having to surrender. Made some headway with hip forces, but ended up breaking one of the MMGs twice. Once KMT had clear advantage, they smartly pulled back and made my Red Army come after them to even the CVP score. That didn't go so well. Yeah. Wow, interesting game. It was far more intense than I expected. My KMT were met by a nicely prepared defense that Dan had put in place. His hip ambush hit me hard, and by the end of turn 3, I was personally considering ELR'd, or I personally ELR'd and considering conceding, but I kept playing, and by the end of turn 5, things had completely turned around, and my KMT would steal the win. I would love a longer description of that one.
Yeah, that seems pretty. Hmm.
It was my turn to defend, so I set up the red Chinese ambush along the south side of board 43 road. South side of board 43 road? Oh, okay, yeah, so here. Most of my first turn force entered on the western board edge. A solitary squad entered the middle to cover the road entry. Dave came on with most of the force in the middle and started smaller supporting elements in each flank. Things hotted up in turn 2.
What? How does force enter on the west edge?
What's the restriction for you?
You have to come in on the north edge.
Set up on after the. Oh, I'm still looking at the other scenario. God damn it. Long north edge. Well, I guess he's cheating. That's probably
Yeah,
why he got an
I was
even
like, if I
easier
can come in on the
win.
west edge, Jesus,
When
that's hilarious.
things heated up in turn 2 when he hit the ambush, I was in the box seat from the start when Dave rolled boxcars on his first morale check, and then I caught a leader and squad moving in the open. By the end of turn 2, I accrued 5 CVP and lost none. Turn 3, Dave repositioned to renew the attack, and I fell back to a position roughly along the seam. Turn 4, it was all over. I killed one conscript squad on a snakes in the movement phase, and a second conscript broke and disrupted in a position where it would have to surrender. At this stage, I was up 9 CVP to 0, and the prisoner would give me another 4. Dave conceded. An interesting infantry only scenario concluded in one session of barely 2 hours with tea break. The luck definitely went my way, particularly when I was taking negative modifier shots where I always seem to roll low. Red Army set up hip defenses in the central grain area. MG covering the center road with a 9-1 leader and a squad, and other MG on the right of grain. Another squad covering road against the hedge, and the last hip squad was out on the left flank in the woods. Red Army stacked everything and used road movement to get bait units into the defensive line. The KMT moved in on a wider front, mainly into the hedged grain fields. Red Army shots at a squad on the road, box cars, and broke the MG. Returning KMT assault fire broke the squad in the middle, and the Red Army fell back into the central woods. KMT created fire groups and eventually broke the last MG, rushing a squad to claim it. Last turn of the Red Army saw several squads run at the KMT with captured MG. KMT chose to fall, break, and the gun was retaken but not possessed. KMT last turn saw a large fire group fail to break the key MG squad, and a difficult charge last free KMT was gunned down as he ran across the road. Overall, a very cagey scenario, only 2 CVP per side. How? How? With little incentive for the Red Army to stand, and a lots of hip units, feels a hard one for the KMT unless the Red Army overcommits or shows the hip units too early. Yep. Yep.
I mean, I don't know. I mean, I thought about defending further back, but
What's the point?
yeah, it's kind of like what I was thinking, I guess, and this is this is me kind of thinking back to a few weeks ago. I think I was thinking that I was going to try and hit you and then kind of try and pull back reasonably orderly, because there's really like you know, fighting in the cornfields is kind of a pain in the ass just because of the hindrance mods. Um, the hedged part is nice because you can break line of sight, so
Mm.
that's a plus. So that's why I kind of edged my way, or I kind of put most of my forces, or almost all of my forces, over there. Um, but yeah, I really didn't have any sense that I was going to be like, I felt like it was going to be done by the time I got back to the scene if I was pushing, pushing folks. I honestly didn't even think about the victory point for being south of the road. I just felt like that was just kind of like, okay, great, have your
Yeah.
CVP,
Have,
you know.
run 3 maps and get your one CVP.
Yeah, I do feel like it kind of needed maybe a timer for the Reds. Like if this is supposed to be an ambush, do something like they have to hold for X turns and then they have to exit, kind of thing, or they have an exit condition for turns 5 and 6, so they're encouraged to get the f off the board. You know.
Yeah. Yeah, it's like that's I'm looking at the scenario and everything. It's like, yeah, why bother? Like, really, the the way I'm looking at it is like, okay, well, you have your MMGs here because they cover just about everywhere, right? You stack the 9-1 leader with them because, of course, um, even if even if the KMT player like chooses to go down the road and then survive, or the red Chinese player wants to like lull them in a false sense of security, like you're still getting that 8 down whatever firepower shot as soon as you go anywhere else. There's no incentive not to just do hip squad here, hip hip, have hip there, and then just like wait, because as soon as you get the KMT to drop anything, right? And you're crossing road no matter what, right? So as soon as the KMT commits to something, loses a CVP, and can't regain it, just run. There's no, what's the incentive for the red player to even play? Like you could just run away. When you have range 3, like that was another thing that screwed me over. When you were here and I had like finally I got stacks, or I had a bunch of units or whatever, I can't actually shoot AA4 or Z4 because it's range 7 if I want to hit your MMGs, like as you're starting to pull away. So I can't actually shoot that because it's more than double my range.
Yeah, no, it's a frustrating scenario. I think it could be salvaged. Like I said, I think you need to put some more restrictions on the Reds to encourage them to stand or encourage some behavior on their part. Um,
Not having, I think if there was one change I would do out of everything is I would give the KMT Dare Death
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Definitely. No.
because you could get two squads because it's fractions rounded up. So you have two chances to have somebody run out of stack with all the benefits of Berserk or whatever, and at least like if he survives, then you got something going. But I frankly don't understand how anybody gets any success out of this scenario as the KMT unless the red player just fucks up in box cars on anything.
Yeah, I mean, I think it could go quite like if the medium machine guns blow up, like that's a big thing. If you start losing the medium machine guns, then your firepower goes down because the Reds
Absolutely,
don't have any better firepower. Their
absolutely.
main advantage is those MMGs. So um, that's that. The Reds have way too many leaders.
Yeah,
I mean,
four is a lot.
I have four leaders, and none of them are bad. You know,
Yeah,
they're all pretty good leaders.
yeah, and the other thing too is that which is a huge benefit for the red Chinese is if you fail morale checks, you don't replace them.
Yeah, they're like good commissars.
Yeah, they're smart commissars.
Yeah. So yes, I really think that ASL kind of gives the Red Chinese perhaps too much credit.
Hmm.
Perhaps I don't know. But yeah, it's yeah, I can see how
I,
it just needs some work. Like it
I,
feels like it needs to be pushed a little bit.
if anything, I think the reason why it might seem like ASL gives them too much for the red Chinese, that is it's probably more because in the scenarios we've played with a red Chinese versus nationalists, more often than not, in infantry only scenarios, the KMT I feel are just boned automatically because they um, there's enough SSRs that get thrown in that take out the tools that the KMT would need. Maybe not necessarily, but would still need. Like you take away you take away Dare Death. That's a the powerful tool for the KMT. If you don't give them support weapons, it's like, well, you're they don't have a good base of fire.
Yeah, oh, definitely. I don't understand the balance for this scenario.
What is it like? Turn KMT must
Like
earn.
no, three more CVP, which is like you might as well just the KMT player might as well just say, yeah, I'm done.
Yeah, like I add one
Like
337 and 1336. Like
I don't. Does that help? Like, not really.
I don't. The only reason why I say it doesn't is because I roll dog shit for my morale checks all day every day. Um, maybe that's like another important factor is like maybe someone's getting like really good rolls, which I don't doubt it. But I mean, if anything, that's just makes me more frustrated because if it's supposed to be random, oops, if it's supposed to be random, then why do I roll like crap every time? Um,
Yeah.
but that
The
aside,
other thing
like yeah, two squads, I don't know.
I would think it might be interesting if you gave them like a second MMG with crew.
Yeah, I think the balance I would do is probably like for Red Army, take away their MMG, and if your KMT give give an extra MMG or take away one from the Red Army.
I would
Like
say for if you're changing the Red Army, make the MMGs LMGs. That might make it a little more interesting. And
the
yeah, giving the
MMGs
KMT a
LMGs.
second MMG.
I think the only problem with that is that then the crew kind of becomes useless.
Well, you maybe turn the crew into like a 337, an extra 337.
Uh,
So you have
I mean,
five 337s hit with two LMGs. I think that might not be a bad trade off.
I don't know. I mean, I don't disagree with it. I definitely think if people wanted to play test it, that'd be an interesting way. But yeah, as is, I'm
It's a little
Jay
shaky.
Jay Long. What was how? please release the results. I want to know what balanced playtesting stuff was done to achieve this.
Well, all right. Well, I will set up the scenario for that
LM2? Cool.
so Battle 2. I'll send it over to you probably tomorrow.
Yeah, whatever. It's not any particular rush.
It's going to be interesting because there's a lot of units on a very small map.
It's what, one map or two? Oh, one. Yeah, that's
It's
tiny.
like half a map. Yeah.
Yeah. The only thing I can suggest you look into, because it will be very useful. I'm not sure if I actually sent anything specific to it. I'd have to check. But residual fire. Look into residual fire and how it will apply. There's a lot of grain in this map. It looks like just from the black and white, but definitely look into residual, how it affects uh, not only moving units, but how it can affect like your own movement. You know what I mean? Like when you're done your setup, try to envision where I'm going to come from off board or on board, I guess. And if you're doing residual fire, like what does that, how does that affect you if you were the attacker in that same situation? Like you gotta avoid a hex or avoid an entire lane of avenue of approach, etc. Because it's going to be, I think it's going to be very important in this scenario.
Yeah, I will certainly do it. The other thing I'll say is you're going to get your wish. You're going to light the crane on fire.
Hopefully, because it doesn't start on nothing starts on fire. Yeah.
No, but the huts can blaze and kindling is allowed. So,
Yeah, but I don't know. It'll be. I'll definitely look into how many shots a 75 millimeter artillery piece needs to make to start blazing some some huts.
well, I think the huts are probably a little. They're treated as buildings, as just basically wooden
Yeah.
buildings.
I forget if they're treated exactly as wooden buildings, but
Except for stated otherwise, huts are treated as wooden single-story houses.
fire lane heat, bombardment, fire. A hut's kindling and spread numbers are 6 and 7 respectively, even if collapsed. Uh, any small arms, point blank fire, triple point blank fire, Molotov, machine gun, IFE, DC, or HE attack versus any hut location, even versus a bypassing unit therein, causes a flame in that hut if the original colored die of its effect DR is a 1.
Oh
So
boy.
we I'll have to make a note or something to constantly check that.
Yeah, the huts are going to be collapsing like
A lot of
kindling.
fires. This will
Yeah,
be this will actually be a very, depending on how this plays out. This might actually be a a very good case study in uh, instead of shooting, trying to what's the word? It's on the flame counter. Suppress. It's not suppress fire. It is info destroy flame hamper. It might be more valuable to try and clear or hamper a flame rather than shooting at an enemy. Aim and all right. Well, I'm gonna end the stream just because